So today we had our very first cross-server guild league in Ragnarok Online Origin. Ignoring the fact that our bracket pitted four guilds in the same server together, which defeats the whole purpose of a cross-server. I could probably rant on and on about how matchmaking went from us facing the top guild in Islu 9 to facing somebody else in our own server. But that's not even the biggest problem here, right? Like let's just talk about this a little bit, because cross server guild league was a laggy mess, a complete laggy mess. It wasn't even just lag, really. It was just people disconnecting all over the place, and everybody was experiencing it. But it didn't just start off with that laggy mess, right? Like the people had to endure through multiple disconnections. Even map 2 had 0 out of 3,000 progress throughout the whole thing. So people weren't even able to connect to map 2. And, for the most part, majority couldn't even connect to map 1 until much later. So, what's more frustrating about this is that, this is the latest out of all Ragnarok Origin versions to release global. This is not even the first cross-server guild league Gravity has had to do, and they've had similar cases and similar issues in the previous versions as well. As to how it has gone to this extent for this long in this iteration of Ragnarok Origin is beyond me, right? So the fact that the issues are persisting through multiple iterations of the game is just plain inexcusable, right? We even had this comment from Wandering Ghost on the Ragnarok Online Discord saying that the initial reason is that the server is crowded with a lot of data, but the specific reason is still has to wait for the official explanation. So that's the first identifying factor that they determined. So auto scaling servers are kind of a thing. So I don't think that Ragnarok Origin at this point has any excuse to not have something like that, because if you do the math, just in the number 1 event alone that just passed, in the first few days, they already made a couple something million USD from it, right? So throughout that whole event, that multiplied even more every single day that passed, right? So it's not even an excuse of resources anymore. It's just plain incompetence at this point. It's they want to show us that they care, but in the events that actually matter in terms of content in the game, that is not a cash grab event, we come up with these issues. Issues that are not even new. If it was a new game with new issues, then sure, yeah, we can have some discourse there. We can have a discussion there. Maybe there's an excuse there, because you know what? Issues happen in new games, but this is hardly the new game. We've had KR, we've had NA, we've had Taiwan, and now we have global. There's absolutely just no excuse at this point to have the same issues in the same type of in-game event on the 4th iteration of the game. Absolutely no excuse. And I don't know about you, but any company, whether private or public, which Gravity is a public company, yeah, I don't think you ever want to be associated with both being incompetent and money grubbing at the same time, which at this point, let's just not deny that's just what is associated with Gravity and all the iterations of Ragnarok Online to begin with after a certain point in time. And it's fine, right? The thing is the whole justification of people that are usually free to play is the fact that when whales spend a lot on the game, yes, they are incredibly powerful, but at the same time, they keep the servers running, they keep the resource coming in, everything works fine, right? But this is not the case right now. So now, not just free-to-play players are pissed, even the whales that are paying all this money are now pissed as well, because they know that they have some idea of how much money is coming into the game and how much Gravity is earning off of these events. And for some reason, one of the most biggest events that they could actually enjoy their hard-earned money at is also being taken away from them for the past 2 weeks now, right? So it's just insane to me how the same company can mess up copy pasta code all over and over again, and have the same issues and have nothing prepared at all. And the thing is, like, this wasn't even something that's new, right? It was also predicted weeks in advance by people. Like, it's not like they didn't have any type of foresight into this, right? It's like people on Discord were warning them already, just based on history, right? And based on like the symptoms of the first issues that they had, where they had to cancel Guild League at the time. And what they did was they just turned a blind eye to it, right? It's like known issues, known history, symptoms shown, turn a blind eye into it, right? It's like if somebody has been sick before and knows the symptom, and then now they're starting to get sick again, but not completely just yet. They're just seeing the symptoms already, and they just ignore it. And then when the sickness comes all the way through full circle, they just act surprised, like, "Well, we identified the problem with this one. Well, it's like we have had this issue before. We can't really give you a reason why as to why we don't have a solution for this yet, when this is like the third time that it's happening. But we'll just give you some a couple hundred yans, or some diamonds and some pet summon tickets, and we'll call it even, right?" So the funny thing is, like, it's like these issues, like the week prior when we talk about symptoms, like all these issues already kind of came up, right? Like we saw it coming, right? And the excuses they made, that like all the results were just going to be plain visual, and then like with the primary issues with guilds losing, getting less rewards, newly made guilds getting boosted into Bright Sun rank, like guilds in Bright Sun ranks getting demoted 1 to 2 or more brackets down. And it's just it was very frustrating to like go through all that. And the thing is, like, the guilds that were affected in Bright Sun suffered less rewards that they usually would. Like, for example, like the weekly diamonds that people that worked hard to be in Bright Sun ranking actually got less than what they usually got. So it wasn't just a visual thing, right? Any competent company would have done everything they can to make sure this doesn't happen. And it's not like the issue was going to be like incredibly hard to fix. Like, they've fixed it before in other servers. It's just that they just didn't put in the resources or the teams to make sure that this doesn't happen. And I think that's just inexcusable, right? At the end of the day, unforeseen circumstances, man, it's one thing, right? It's one thing. But this is hardly the first time they've had Guild League or cross-server Guild League. And this is hardly the first time they've had these same issues. They know what the fixes are. They know what the issues they know what kind of issues will come to these like guild events. And knowing fully that Global is probably like hands down, no debate, the biggest version out of all Ragnarok Origin, you would think that if they had server issues in the previous versions, they would also have server issues in this version, right? It's common sense. 1 + 1 = 2, right? How is it that they still managed to not get ready and prepare for certain issues like this? And it all just comes down to like one thing, which is just plain incompetence. Yeah, sure, thank you for the compensation, but at the same time, can we just get working game modes, please?
Server in Global.
Oh,
Server so fun. 10 out of 10 playable.
Moonflex, go star. Moonflex, psych.
Very nice. So good.
JK.
resume at star.
Whee!
Are you moving at all? No, fix.
Whee!
It's not even, I can't even rubber band because my character's not even moving.
Only cross server is
I need to run.
King. Hell.
I'm back.
I'm back. I'm
Oh,
back.
buy blue gems.
Oh, let's go. Oh. No.
We're winning, guys.
We're coming back.
We're losing star.
I'm coming, don't worry.
Moonflex, go to star.
Okay.
Eventually.
We're slowly rubber band there.
I'm alive.
I'm in star.
3 parties.
I made it farther with a mouse click than a WASD movement. Okay, let's go. That's the strat. We found out the tech.
The tech is point click.
The tech is point and click.
I'm on the enemy
Old
stop.
school RO.
Oh my god.
My guy just
Actually,
reclined.
that is working. What the hell?
Mid-league.
I made it. I see Fatty.
Yeah.
No wonder they're
There you go.
rotating.
Don't use
Yeah, there you go.
WAZ.
This is the closest iteration to